Welcome to the channel. June 29, 2023 Supreme Court Affirmative Action Decision. Here's what you should know about the Supreme Court's landmark decision on affirmative action. The Supreme Court says colleges and universities can no longer take race into consideration as a specific basis for granting admission, a landmark decision overturning long-standing precedent that has benefited Black and Latino students in higher education. Chief Justice John Roberts wrote the opinion for the conservative majority, saying the Harvard and University of North Carolina admissions programs violated the Equal Protection Clause because they failed to offer measurable objectives to justify the use of race. He said the programs involve racial stereotyping and had no specific endpoint. The opinion claims the court was not expressly overturning prior cases authorizing race-based affirmative action, and suggested that how race has affected an applicant's life can still be part of how their application is considered. Here's what else you should know. Who dissented? Justice Sonia Sotomayor, joined by Justice Elena Kagan and Ketanji Brown Jackson, issued a fiery dissent, saying the opinion rolls back decades of precedent and momentous progress. Exemptions to the decision. The ruling says that U.S. military service academies can continue to take race into consideration as a factor in admissions. During oral arguments, Solicitor General Elizabeth Prelogar stressed the unique interests of the military and argued that race-based admissions programs further the nation's compelling interest of diversity. Reactions. GOP officials celebrated the decision as Democrats blasted the court. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said the justices just ruled that no American should be denied educational opportunities because of race. And Republican Senator Ted Cruz, who sits on the Senate Judiciary Committee, said in a statement, "This is a great day for all Americans." Former President Donald Trump called Thursday a great day for America. Meanwhile, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer called the ruling a giant roadblock in our country's march toward racial justice. Implications. CNN chief legal analyst Laura Coates said the decision will lead to sweeping changes to education in the U.S. And Steve Vladeck, CNN Supreme Court analyst and professor at the University of Texas School of Law, said the decision will still not end the legal fight over college admissions. The Supreme Court's landmark decision to bar colleges and universities from considering race as a specific basis for admission will make it more difficult for schools to achieve a diverse student population, civil rights leaders and education advocates say. The gutting of affirmative action upends a long-standing precedent that has benefited disadvantaged Black and Latino students in higher education. That could be because, during the Supreme Court's last term, the justices faced harsh criticism when they reversed Roe v. Wade. Roberts may have been seeking a way to avoid criticism that for the second year in a row, on an issue that will change how Americans live their lives, the newly constituted court dominated by conservatives has taken another step to wipe away long-established precedent. GOP Senator Mitch McConnell. Today's rulings make clear that colleges may not continue discriminating against bright and ambitious students based on the color of their skin. GOP Rep. Virginia Foxx, who chairs the House Committee on Education and the Workforce, called the decision a welcome victory for countless students across the country. The very same extremists just obliterated consideration of racial diversity in college admissions. They clearly want to turn back the clock. "We will never let that happen," Jeffries said. The Congressional Black Caucus said, by delivering a decision on affirmative action so radical as to deny young people seeking an education equal opportunity in our education system, the Supreme Court has thrown into question its own legitimacy. Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said, "If SCOTUS was serious about their ludicrous colorblindness claims, they would have abolished legacy admissions, aka affirmative action for the privileged. 70% of Harvard's legacy applicants are white. SCOTUS didn't touch that, which would have impacted them and their patrons." Some context. Asian Americans have taken a central role in the debate over affirmative action in higher education, with opponents arguing the policies favor Black and Latino students over students of Asian descent, and hold Asian Americans to a higher standard for admission. The Supreme Court is yet to release a ruling on another crucial education-related case. Millions of borrowers will soon learn whether they could receive up to $20,000 in debt relief under President Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness program. The forgiveness program, which is estimated to cost about $400 billion, would fulfill Biden's campaign promise to cancel some student loan debt and would delight progressives, as well as put some borrowers in a better financial position when the pause on payments and interest accrual expires later this year. Most federal student loans have been frozen since March 2020, when a pause meant to protect borrowers struggling financially due to the COVID-19 pandemic went into place. Who would be eligible for student loan forgiveness? The Biden administration has estimated that more than 40 million federal student loan borrowers would qualify for some level of debt cancellation, with roughly 20 million who would have their balance forgiven entirely, if the forgiveness program is allowed to move forward. Vice President Kamala Harris slammed the Supreme Court's gutting of affirmative action as a step backward for our nation, arguing that the ruling will make college campuses less diverse and impact the country for decades. It rolls back long-established precedent and will make it more difficult for students from underrepresented backgrounds to have access to opportunities that will help them fulfill their full potential. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment on your thoughts about the video, and subscribe for more.